Yo, 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 what's up everybody? How you doing? How you feeling? What is the word? How you guys doing out there? What is going on, everyone? Oh my god, I'm sorry I'm a little bit late today, running a little bit behind schedule, but we got this. I think we got this. How you guys doing out there? This is Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, and I'm coming at you from the Wizard's Tower. And today on Buster Recap, we're going to talk about The Boys Season 3, Episode 1. Now, I'm normally here with a co host. Okay, I am normally here with the Bard in the deck, but unfortunately, our boy today is out doing some adventure stuff. So I think he's in the middle of the ocean right now. So either way, it's just going to be us, which is cool because I really get to talk to you guys about what I think about the boys and what you think about the boys and all that's all right. So we are going to be talking about all that stuff, but first got to talk to you guys about subscribing to the channel and you know, all of that stuff. So if you guys got any questions or anything like that, know that it's hot. It is so hot in here. But you can send us an email at backinthedeck@gmail.com. That's BACKINTHEDK at gmail.com. You can also reach out to us on the social media that everyone has and no one likes, and that is Twitter and Instagram. Um, Hang on just a minute, guys. We're gonna do this thing real quick here. Okay, guys, that was our illustrious co-host calling from the middle of the ocean. And y'all know I normally don't take calls in the middle of the show, but what can I do, right? He's literally in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean right now, saying how much he loves the show and how much he misses you guys in the chat and myself. So, gonna do all that stuff. You saw all that other stuff, so yeah. Subscribe to the channel, and guess what? We got merch. We got a whole bunch of other stuff. I know today seems just like a great big cluster, doesn't it? Oh man, and what is up with what is up with my frames? I was having problems with this last night as well, but I think we're doing better. Like my bit rate is literally split between this computer and everything else. And we got a con in here. So yeah, that's what we got. So yeah, we're talking about the boys, we're doing that. But I wanted to show you guys the merchandise because who doesn't want a Lil Saul t-shirt? I don't know who doesn't want a Lil Saul t-shirt. I want Lil Saul t-shirts. What do we got? Oh yeah, look at that guy. Isn't he cute? He is adorable. Look at that guy. Oh yeah, and honestly, I found the color schemes that I like. Like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm having a sale. Okay? Yeah, I'm having a sale. That's the thing that's happening. But I love this one. This one is my favorite. You guys can head on over there. Um, you guys can head into the store at T Public. I'll leave a link for you guys right here in the chat because yeah, this is all good stuff. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm just gonna share that with you guys right now. All right, so that's what we got on over here. So yeah, honestly, woohoo! So yeah, I think I'm gonna turn up my volume real quick because what kind of a show is this if y'all can't hear me? Right? I'm serious. That y'all gotta hear me on this. So here we go. Skadoosh. Look at all that. Boom, 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 boom. So yeah, that is where we're at. And yeah, he's doing a data test and all that stuff. So all right. So we got all that. And of course, hit up the Patreon. Let me give my shout outs to my royalty tier patrons that without their help, there wouldn't be a show and there wouldn't be any community outreach. So we're looking at Laura Holton, Chaley Watson, Jennifer Kroll, Noel Olheiler, Glenn Couch, Christopher Chalmers, Joseph Hines, and Frank Perkins. So thank you guys for being patrons, helping us keep the lights on, and helping us provide all of this, all the gaming materials like the copies of the role-playing game books, dice, and miniatures and all that stuff to the kids in all the neighborhoods. Y'all know which neighborhoods I'm talking about, right? And what is this down here? I got this little thing that says like enough or something. Wait, sure here. Let me just double check on that. So, interesting. Let me just, yeah, this is weird. This is very, very weird. I've got some writing on here that shouldn't. Oh, I know what's up. Nope. Oh, that's what happened. Boom. All right, that's out. So, yeah, I had to do the fix on that. I'm like, what are these words here in the Wizard's Tower? Oh, God, I'm such a mess. And speaking of a mess, let's talk about some superheroes. All right, because these guys. Now, for those of you guys that aren't familiar with the boys, we are going to do just a really quick history on the boys for those of you guys that don't know it. Now, the boys was created by Garth Ennis as a protest to the ubiquity of superhero culture, and that was the comic book. And the show was put together by Garth Ennis and a few other people as a protest to the ubiquity of superhero media, specifically the Marvel Cinematic Universe, DC, everybody trying to get a cinematic. And I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't a big fan of the book. Wasn't a big fan of the writer. I was a big fan of the writer, then I wasn't, then I was, then I wasn't, and I'm starting to come around on it. Now that I have more of an understanding of coming from, um, where he's coming from, writer, and as a writer, I want to talk to you guys. Um, there is a ubiquity of stuff of superhero action. Um, and there was a long time ago, for the wind before the snow. Um, Comic books were and still are just another. Now, if you are my age, you know that comic book press, that is what you see when you walk into comic book stores. There are comic books for every type of talking romance story, horror stories, um, western, military, sci-fi. But those stories don't tend to get any, really don't. Um, generally, okay, generally, those stories tend to get swept under the rug because comic book companies, corporations, run by people that like money, and they like really, 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 really like money. Okay, and sorry to say, but the romance comic, that isn't Archie, doesn't sell as well as Batman. Oh, the Admiral's in here. Hey, how's it going? I am not feeding you right now. I'm working. Um, so yeah, come here, boy. Come here. Come here. Yeah, come on over. That's right. Step over that. Now you can do this. You can do this. Come on, Admiral Whiskers. Come on, you got this. Nope. All right, you're done. Um, Sorry, the boy is like looking around the studio because he doesn't come in here very often, except for when he does. Eh, Well, relax, relax, and he's gone. Um, Almost had a ratings gimmick. Anyway, um, yeah, there are so many different genres of comics, but the only ones. Why am I dropping frames so hard? The only ones who really get any oxygen in the press and in the advertisements, um between all of the distributors and stuff, are the superhero comics because, well, let's face it, that's what makes the money. All right, it makes the money, it makes all of the money. So what do we got? We got the thing that makes it all of the money. So that's why we have five Superman comics, five Batman comics, or should I say titles, and five Spider-Man titles, and like seven, eight X-Men. And so bringing on to Garth Ennis, who wants to write other type of stories but can only get work writing superheroes. So he writes stuff like The Boys, which The Boys is a deconstruction of essentially the Justice League, starting with Superman and Batman. It is that old tale. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. And, of course, please don't sue me, Disney. Wait, they can't sue me for singing off key. It's all in the works. Um, I love when plans come together. Anyway, um, so as I'm talking about this stuff, what is sucking up my bandwidth is my question. Yeah, I'm dropping frames like crazy on this, and I don't quite understand why. Because I'm looking at what my computer's running, and it's a lot of power, not a lot of heat coming from this stuff. So yeah, but this program is taking up a lot of power, but only 23% of my CPU and half of my memory. So I don't know what's going on. I really don't. If the frames are dropping left, right, and sideways, then all I can say is Spectrum. Anyway, that's right. I'm stuck with Spectrum Internet, guys. I really am. I don't like it. Yeah, I really don't like it. But this is what I'm stuck with. So, I'm gonna try and reload the page. Maybe I'm not dropping frames as hard as it looks like I am, but it really does look like I'm dropping. just, all right, there was a subroutine that was working. Maybe this is the thing. Maybe this is the thing. So, this thing came out, and if you guys have watched seasons 1 and 2, let me just give you a quick summation of season 1 and 2. It's a lot, so let me sum up. Um, our main character Huey is going through a thing because the speedster of the group, A Train, killed his girlfriend accidentally by running through her at super speed because the BOYZ is nothing if not bloody. So he joined Payback, a team led by Billy Butcher, played by Carl Urban. And I'm sorry. How can I put this? Um, how can I put this? He's a terrible person, but it's impossible to not like anyone who's played by Carl Urban. Am I right? I mean, just Carl Urban, from Aelmir to Judge Dredd, to Billy Butcher to Bones from Star Trek. The dude is just likable, right? Um, and they're essentially a vigilante team of people who just kill a whole bunch of superheroes because they all have trauma that was brought on by encounters with superheroes. Um, and it turns out that the superheroes in this story are essentially controlled by a massive corporation who, as the story is unfolding, is turning out to be the true evil. Now, let's talk about the. I can't say cliche at this point, but it definitely is tropey at this point. Being, um, literally being Superman gone bad, okay? The god that hates you. Opposite of what Superman is, which is the god that likes you and will show up, right? So let's be real. I gotta say, Homelander is an interesting, if not fatalistic, on the Superman character, who I'm not gonna say he's bad. He's not bad. I've talked about this a couple of times since the announcement for season 3 comes up. The actor who plays Homelander is so good. Oh my god! Like, let's talk about the cast for half a sec, okay? The cast of this show is top notch. Okay, and I'm not just saying Giancarlo Esposito playing a different face of Gus Fring. I'm talking Carl Urban, the dude who plays Mother's Milk, the dude who plays Homelander. Like, they even tapped into some of our nostalgia by casting the chick from the Karate Kid and all that stuff. I mean, honestly, this show has been very top notch. All right, and of course, Kumiko. I believe her name is Karen something. Big crush. You guys might also know her from such films as the from such films as the Academy Award winning Suicide Squad as Lady Katana, and of course as Guardians in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as Mantis. Yeah, really just big old man crush on that actress. She's so good. And I'm saying she's so good as an actress and not because she is a pet and she is ugly. But yeah, so honestly, we have the boys that consist of Billy Butcher, our, I guess you could say, hybrid between the Punisher and Batman. Mother's Milk, the black dude with a conscience. Frenchie, Frenchie, who is our spy secret agent, because there was a saying in World War II of I would rather have a German in front of me than a Frenchman behind me, because France is known for its intrigue. Um, and of course, Huey, who is the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed new guy who's still altruist. Sort of the Nightwing slash Peter Parker. And 1, 2, skip a few, we learn about a whole bunch of other things. But last season ended with the mutilation slash death of a Nazi, and one of the most chilling lines I've heard from a modern television, which is, people love what I have to say. They love it. They just don't like the word Nazi. That's all. And I'm going, oh my god, it's scary because it's true. So, um, so this season opens with Huey working for the new superhero or super powered um the super powered tracking service for the United States government. And Billy and the boys answers to them. We also open up with the Homelander having been brought to heel with threats to his public opinion, especially after falling in love with someone who turned out to be exposed as a Nazi. Not that he's not a Nazi. He's Hydra. He's a Nazi plus. He doesn't just do one arm up. He's like, yeah, hang glider. Woo. Um and yeah, he fell in love with the wrong woman. He's just a man who fell in love with the wrong woman. Um but in this episode, we get the head of the corporation, played by Giancarlo Esposito, as the corporate guy, the Lex Luthor, the Bill Gates, the Steve Jobs. Um, Showing Starlight, our not Mary Sue at all, but our female insertion character to the story, what real power is by making her co-captain of the Justice League, meaning that she has equal say on what happens with the most powerful team of superheroes in the world, and she has equal say with the leader, Homelander. I ain't gonna lie. I said something. I was gonna talk about this with DW, but again, he's in the middle of the ocean, so it was like he kicks him out of the room, and it's like, yeah, that guy needs to be brought to heel and this and that, and she's like, he can hear you. He's like, good. I hope you can. I ain't scared of him. I control him. What? Oh, yeah, he's going to do this stuff with laser eyes. He has no idea the freaking back channels I've got waiting for him in case of that eventuality. So, power. And I'm just like, dude, yeah, yeah. Can Superman beat Gus Fring? I don't think so. So I thought that was actually very cool. So she gets a chance to make a real difference in the seven and actually can push them toward being actual decent heroes. Um, but she's hosting a show that is the Britain's Got Talent, X Factor, American Idol for superheroes, and her ex-boyfriend from her Christian Bible days is now trying to get on the show. And how can I put it? Anyone who's ever felt like they were punching above their weight when it comes to dating, i.e., dating someone out of their league, there is going to be some insecurity. All right. Personally, I didn't like it because I hate forced love triangles, although they are standard for season twos of any show now. So I'm like, oh look, a love triangle. Oh God, I don't want a love triangle. No. Um, but of course, Huey, being the dude without powers and all that stuff, is like, oh, your good-looking ex-boyfriend who's also a superhero, unlike me. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm. Not, could you open this jar of jelly for me? No, I'm not nervous. I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. Yeah. Guess what, guys? I'm not saying he ain't got nothing to worry about, but um, if y'all want to be in a relationship and stay in a relationship, if you start feeling that way, you gotta say something. I know there's a big fear of being blown off, like, oh, you're just jealous, all that stuff. I get it. But if you don't say something and you act, it's on you, right? So that's what I gotta say. Attila Khan is like, yeah, I gotta give him credit. It was a smart way to do the love triangle. Ditto. Especially since she's not interested in getting back together with her ex-boyfriend. She's got too much on her mind, and she actually cares about the schlub. So this is pretty awesome. I'm kind of digging that. Um, and over the course of the show, Huey finds out that, well, let's go back. Second season ended with Congress getting their heads popped like Mark McKinnon was standing outside of the Capitol building. Mark McKinnon from The Kids in the Hall going, I crush your head, crush. Ah, look at you. I am on the committee to give budget to people that don't need money and then to starve off other people. I crush your head. And sure enough, that is what she ended up doing. She crushed the heads of all of Congress, and she got her job, and Huey is actually working for her. So, the show kind of opens with Huey going into work, and I'm not gonna lie, the boy found his pond. You know, the boy um the boy found his pond. It was, Homelander is a big fish in a small pond being called Earth. Huey is a medium-sized fish in a tiny pond known as his office. You know, um, just with the whole thing of like, is that Huey Watson? Is that Hugh Watson? Yeah, he took down Stormfront, dude. And he's dating a superhero. That dude is the man. And I really like that they had that moment. Okay, um, for those of you guys that haven't known me for very long, I am a great big, wholesome, nerdy, gullible schlub. Okay? That is who I am. I was always more Peter Parker than Bruce Wayne. Okay? And what's the difference? Is because at the end of the day, Bruce Wayne, James Bond. Oh, I want to shake and not stirred. I did pull my punch. Um, and Peter Parker, Spider Man, Charlie Brown. Good grief. I'm going to have an existential crisis. Life difficult for everyone. And yeah, that's me. I own it. All right. Um, so being the kid that was made fun of and teased and had all of these big ideas about people should be nice and those who have power should be using their power to help elevate people that don't have power. Um, Having spent some time in places where people like, oh my god, you're solar, you're that guy. I'm like, dude, no, I'm not that guy. I'm not. I don't know what you think about me, but no, I'm not him. I get it. I've been in a pond that was a little smaller than me, where people kind of looked up to me in a weird way, and I'm still not used to it if they still exist, except for with children because I'm very tall. So they look up and they're like, "Hey, Mister, are you tall?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm tall. Now let me show you how many sides a die can come in." Um, and sure enough, he finds out that his boss not only has superpowers, but is responsible for killing Congress at the end of the last season and was raised by Giancarlo Esposito's character, who is the great big bad guy that's trying to use his corporation to take over the government, and he's winning. So, of course, Huey himself is like, "What? That's the There is no winning. Arr! I told Billy earlier in the show that we were winning, and his ways aren't the ways to do it. And now I just got duped, and I'm gonna get it. Now we have to kill them all." And I'm going, okay, that's a thing. Now let's take a look at Butch, okay? Because this episode is an interesting thing. Now he finds out that they're Captain America analog. Soldier Boy. Y'all might recognize him from such television shows as Supernatural. Ironically, a show I didn't watch. So who knows? I may run a Buster recap on that one. Um hmm. You know what? I'm not gonna lie, Telecon. The love triangle between Newman and Huey was really up. And honestly, I think it would have worked. But of course, modern shows are about subverting our expectations. Um, and they did it in a smart way. They really did it in a smart way. And interesting because if Huey did end up being in a relationship with with Nadia, then he's the dude that dates only superheroes, right? Don't get me wrong, both of them are beautiful women because this is a TV show and there's no such thing as an ugly woman on TV. So, um, um, so Billy, essentially has an informant inside the Seven outside of Starlight, which is Queen Maeve. And this is our Wonder Woman analog who hates herself some Homelander, but knows that she can't kill him. She doesn't know anyone can. But there was another hero long time ago that was killed by the Russians or something. And she's like, well, if there was a weapon that could kill him, and he was almost as strong as Homelander, let me get this to Butcher, because, well, This show is all about how do we kill Homelander. Okay. Um, and that comes with the superhero serum that the show has been revolving around, known as Compound V. But there's a new form of Compound V. That's right. I got that Luke Cage out there. Nah, bro. I got that Nightshade, bro. If you know, you know. Okay. Um, and this gives people superpowers. Um, yeah, um, this gives people superpowers for a day. It turns them into superheroes for a singular day. At least that's the hope. They haven't quite ironed out all the barriers. And is it just me, or would Giancarlo Esposito really, really be a good Willy Wonka? I'm just putting that out there, okay? It's yes, it turns our soldiers into superheroes, but then they sprout crab claws out of their eyes. I'll get it right in the end. And then I will kill you. I will kill your wife. I will kill your infant daughter. Now, maybe he wouldn't have made a good Willy Wonka. I don't know. Um, yeah. Mm, yeah, it's one of them things. One of them things. Um, and sure enough, Maeve sneaks Billy a couple of vials of the Compound V. Now, we've got the dude who hates superheroes who can now become, and that opens the door to a great internal conflict. Does he do it? Does he take the chance to walk a mile in the shoes of the people that he hates? Do we get a black like me moment for him to think, maybe no, this is the boys we're talking about. Of course he takes it and he starts to hunt down the people that were connected to Soldier Boy so he can find out about this weapon, and we get to see him beat a dude to death in the way that we have not seen since Kingpin on Daredevil didn't like being embarrassed in front of the girl he likes. If you know, you know. Uh, you embarrassed me in front of her. Uh, so yeah. So in a nutshell, the first episode of this was really, really, really compelling. All right. And again, I say that I like this show despite myself because I love superheroes. And I love specifically, I love the Justice League. Okay. The Justice League and the Legion of Superheroes are two of my favorite teams, all comics. Um, Thank you for bringing that up, Attila Khan. Yeah, that fight with Gunpowder was amazingly well shot. Now, Gunpowder, who was sort of the Bucky Barnes to Soldier Boy's Captain America, is a dude who's really good at shooting. All right, he's sort of the boys' equivalent to Deadshot, where he is really good with guns and he can do all these trick shots and he'll shoot over here and then it'll ricochet all the way across just to cut a dude across the cheek because he's like, yeah, that's me. That's who I am. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? That's right. Guess what? I got me some nunchucks. And so that particular fight was good because you've got Billy Butcher, um, who has super or doesn't have superpowers at first, being intimidating and all Billy Butcher like, and that was very cool. But after he got the superpowers, rah, he is so much like home. It's insane. And in this episode, now we're covering on one episode at a time, and it's a little difficult for me. Only because, and this is a big thing. They released 3 episodes. I watched them all at once, so they're trying to roll together, and I'm trying to keep that from happening. So I'm paying close attention to my notes. Okay. Um, but yeah, they had the moment of showing Billy Butcher with his stepson. All right, and this is really important because in season 2 we got to meet his father and find out about his brother that committed suicide because his dad was a piece of work that did this thing that we do in my culture. And this is more of a poor urban thing than it is a black thing because Billy's British and it happens over there too. which is it's my job to toughen you up, so I'm just gonna beat the crap out of you mentally, emotionally, and physically until I can't anymore. And that's when I know that you're ready for the world. And this creates broken people. Or as they say in the time of slogans, hurt people hurt. And so we see Billy trying to be the type of father that he wanted to have to his stepson, who, of course, is the non consensual baby of Homelander and his wife. Thus, the reason Billy, ex CIA agent, MI6, military intelligence, awesome dude, hates supers and specifically hates Homelander. And he and Homelander have a moment. It's a really cool moment. And it reminded me so much of Batman and Superman that um it was very well done. I think it was an homage to the Michael Mann movie Heat, where we have Robert De Niro and Al Pacino having coffee in a movie of cops and robbers saying, I'm going to have to catch you for robbing a bank if you're going to rob a bank. And him going, I'm not going to let you catch me, but who says I'm going to rob a bank? I mean, I'm going to rob a bank because that's what I do, but you're not going to catch me. I'm not going to let that happen. And it was a really neat, really was, really, really great scene. Um, with Homelander showing up in Billy Butcher's apartment and him going, look, if you're gonna freaking kill me, just get it over with. Until then, well, I have a whole bunch of corn that you can eat as soon as it's ready, and it'll be ready in about 8 hours. Um, so yeah, I really thought that the scene between those two, the until that day moment, because Starlight was given leadership of the Seven because she's wholesome, and Homelander just dated a Nazi. So it's a PR thing, and well, thank you. Um, so yeah, they have a really great moment, and and they're saying, we both want it to come down to a big fight between you and me. There's gonna be blood. There's gonna be this because if I told you I was a superhero, you would agree. I can save people. I can fly. I shoot lasers from my eyes. And Billy's like, yeah, guess what? I don't care. I don't care, bro. I don't care. So you gotta do what you gotta do. Come on, bring it, man. Bring it. So um, Billy does very much take the compound V, and he gets super strength, invulnerability, and laser eyes. Hopefully, it'll evolve into flight, but it's an episode a week, so we'll see where that. Um, and mm, sure enough, he hunts down gunpowder at an NRA convention. You know, I would say symbolism, but there's already a guy on the internet that does that. So I'm just gonna take a page out of the Wayne's book and go message anyway. And he has the intimidation moments, which are his normal tactic of talking to people. And Gunpowder's like, no, blah blah blah, and then they have this great showdown in the parking lot because if you need to film a fight scene cheaply, use covered parking. Today's lesson. And sure enough, he gets the information he wants by knock, knock, beat him in the face, beat him in the face, beat him in the face, spit some Tic Tacs. And I love the spitting of the Tic Tacs. What's going on, Antoine Allen, by the way, watching over on YouTube? I don't know if the frames are dropping. Internet is being really weird here, so thank you. Um, yeah. And I really, really, really just loved so many performances and so much direction in this particular episode. And I think, just from a filmmaker's point of view, Amazon trusts the team now. So it's letting them have a little more leeway with the story, a little more leeway with actor direction, a tiny bit more money with effects. And I want to talk about that for just a little. We only got like 10 minutes of the show left, right? Because this is the thing. We are in an amazing, amazing time for media. All right. I'm not saying the golden age of television because everybody wants to have that golden age, but um we are in a great time where there are so many live action adaptations of literary and comic work that there's going to be some opinions, y'all. There's going to be some opinions. Now, I talk about a lot of shows. um yeah. Well, no, Neon Arlecchino, they also want to keep their stuff, and we live in an age where people go, "Oh my God, I saw part of a woman's chest. Boycott the company." Um, but here's the thing, and this is something I talk to people about all the time. You might see me on Nerd Soul on Saturdays and Sundays, or here on Buster Recap, or whatever show that I'm doing, or even when I do my little 10-minute tidbits, right? Um, what we end up getting often, okay, guys, is um when you adapt something from one medium to another, things must change. There is no such thing as a shot by shot adaptation. It can't be. It seems easier with the comic book medium, but there's a lot of stuff about serialized art that don't translate to screen. Specifically, what happens in between the panels? We don't know. So what's important is to keep the spirit of the serialized. And the second part is you have to make it relevant to the people that are watching. Now, the boys originally came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. Neon Arlecchino is our expert on that, so I'm sure that they are about to pop up with a date and which months. Okay? It's a different world today than it was 20 years ago. All right? Back then, it was about 9/11 and a bunch of different stuff. But now today, so many different things. Correction and the Trump administration and the Citizens United thing that was passed. Like, we live in a different world because sorry, it may look the same outside as it did when you were a kid, but believe me, times have changed and people are different. So when we do adaptations, be it The Boys, Sandman that's coming out, and yes, we are covering that on this show. I'm just letting you know right now. I might even do like a barbershop roundtable thing. I don't know. We got the Lord of the Rings stuff coming out, the new Game of Thrones things that I'm really looking forward to. There's a lot of adaptations and stuff coming out. But here's the thing, guys. They're just that, adaptations, not not duplications. All right? This is a really, really big thing. And when you have an adaptation, you're adapting something from what it was created as the within the context of the time and the culture that it was produced in, and you're adapting that to the tools, the mediums, and the culture of A. All right? So there's going to be some inconsistency, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. All right? Because that means the adaptation is work in and of itself that stands on its own. And on this show, if I'm talking about it, that's what we are going to talk about. The work as it stands on its own. All right? Of course, we'll talk about some adaptation parts, but I'm not here to point out where, well, in the book it was done this way, and in the book it was done that way, and blah, 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 and it was better because I say it's better, and my geekdom happening before many of you were born makes me superior to you. No, I'm not that guy, all right? The Boys, so far, has been a great show. And this is coming from someone who hated the source material and who hated the work of the writer of the source material. Okay, but I'm enjoying this show. And the first episode was so good, I had to immediately watch the second episode. And we are looking forward to all of that. So, seriously, next week, we should have the Bart and the Deck back. Hopefully, he'll be back from the center of the Atlantic between now and there. But quite honestly, if y'all got Amazon Prime, all right, this is really important. If y'all like what we are talking about and you got Amazon Prime, then subscribe to this channel with Amazon Prime. It won't cost you nothing. and watch The Boys, because I can highly recommend this show. If you got a strong stomach. In the words of Dave Chappelle, better not bring your kids. Because this may have superheroes, but this is not a show that you watch with your children unless you grew up in my house where we made every new friend sit through Evil Dead 2 to make sure that they could get down with us. So, but seriously speaking, because this show is bloody, it's full of cursing, there's a lot of stuff, such as our boys moment of this week is the boys' answer to the Ant-Man versus Thanos debate. It has an interesting perspective. So watch episode 1 for that scene alone if you like blood, guts, and viscera. If you like storytelling and complex characters, watch it for that. And if you watch it, and if you hate the fact that Marvel has a movie every 3 months and they're the only thing people are talking about in the box office, although Top Gun 2 was really, really cool and all that stuff, then watch it. I'm saying this show has something for everybody, and not very many shows has that. But since it has something for everybody, you're gonna have to hold your breath and tolerate a bunch of stuff when the stuff on the screen wasn't meant for you. This comes down to the people that don't like blood and guts. This stuff comes down to people who don't like character development. This comes to the people that don't like watching how realistic dark satire could actually be. So honestly, I really dig it. So that's a whole thing. Now let me give a major shout out to my people. Yeah, a major shout out to my people over here, because yeah, my patrons have been awesome. And yeah, I'm being played out just in time. See, it's almost like I know what I'm doing. um but yeah, so let us take a look and thank you guys like Ali Ivana, Asuka Mika, Attila Khan, Dankin' Around, Elizabeth, Neon Arlecchino, Neon Knight, Sad Strange Little Man, Sony PlayStation, Super 8, holding it down on Twitch like gravity is Clever Little Vixen, Antoine Allen, bruh, seriously, that might be one of the reasons I might be losing friends. So, yeah, Antoine Allen, thank you so much. Spread the word. Let people know that I'm talking about this every single Thursday. Every Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are doing The Boys episode by episode by episode. And we're talking about this with our boy DW when he gets back from being in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, because that is how we roll at Back in the Deck. You know, sometimes we got to go to where the people need us, and that's the whole thing. And, again, thank you guys so much for showing up and being here and just being such cool people. Share the stuff with people. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. We're releasing short form content now. A lot of stuff right now involving around getting into tabletop role-playing games from the beginning. I'm talking if you've never done it and you wanted to check it out, we're doing a lot of short form videos. And when I say that, I cut the clock at 10 minutes. All right. So check that stuff out and join us. Have some fun. Who knows? Maybe one of these days I'll be in your city and we could sit down and play some cards. All right. Because, you know, my lady love keeps a deck of magic cards in her purse, and I'm starting to carry around a pack of Uno because I'm a gamer and that's what we do. But in the meantime, if anybody tells you that you guys can't like what you like because of the circumstances of your birth, be it race, religion, creed, gender identity, sexual orientation, disabilities, neurodivergencies, or your budget, because there is no such thing as a project with that's more than 3 miles away from a trailer park. So we all in this broke train. We're all in this pool of brokenness together, although we all swim a little differently sometimes. You could tell those people to take any of those cards and put them back in the deck. This is Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, saying thank you guys for joining me today as we bust a recap on a show that's out there doing things. Join us tomorrow for the Hobby Haul. I'm either going to play something or make something, But I'd like you guys here with me to chat with me and all that stuff while we do it. Till then, we will see you next time.